Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Scripted by Machines, where we bring your wildest horror matchups to life using AI. Today, we have an incredibly intense and spine-chilling showdown lined up for you. In one corner, we have the master of traps and psychological horror, Jigsaw. And in the other, the ancient and malevolent demon, Pazuzu from The Exorcist. John Kramer, better known as Jigsaw, is the sinister mastermind behind some of the most horrifying traps ever conceived. A former civil engineer turned twisted vigilante, Jigsaw targets those he deems unworthy of their lives, placing them in deadly games to test their will to survive. Known for his meticulous planning, ingenious traps, and moralistic philosophy, Jigsaw's legacy of fear is built on the belief that through suffering, his victims can find redemption. Pazuzu is a powerful and ancient demon known for its role in the Exorcist series. Possessing young Regan McNeil, Pazuzu unleashes a reign of terror, showcasing its ability to manipulate, torment, and possess its victims. This malevolent entity thrives on fear and suffering, wielding supernatural powers that defy human comprehension. With origins tracing back to ancient Mesopotamian mythology, Pazuzu's presence is a harbinger of chaos and despair. As we prepare for this terrifying clash, let's take a moment to speculate on who might emerge victorious. Jigsaw's human ingenuity and mastery of psychological manipulation make him a formidable foe, capable of turning even the most dire situations to his advantage. However, Pazuzu's supernatural abilities and demonic resilience pose an extraordinary challenge, one that might be beyond even Jigsaw's capabilities. Will Jigsaw's traps and strategic mind outwit the ancient demon? Or will Pazuzu's otherworldly powers and insidious influence prove too much for the master of traps? Stay tuned as we dive into this bone-chilling encounter and find out who will prevail in this battle of wits and souls. It begins now. Regan McNeil woke up to the dull, flickering light of a single bulb swinging from the ceiling. She was disoriented, her vision blurry and head throbbing. As her eyes adjusted to the dim room, she realized she was strapped to a cold, metal chair in the center of a grimy, blood-streaked concrete room. Her wrists were bound tightly with thick leather straps, and her ankles were shackled to the legs of the chair. She could barely move, the restraints digging painfully into her skin. Around her, the room was filled with an array of menacing contraptions. Sharp, rusty blades hung from the walls, their edges glinting in the weak light. Chains and hooks dangled from the ceiling, swaying slightly. In one corner, a large, spiked iron maiden loomed ominously, its door slightly ajar, revealing a dark, foreboding interior. A rack stood against the far wall, its gears and cranks poised for action. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood and the musty stench of decay. Directly in front of Regan, a monitor flickered to life. The screen displayed a mechanical puppet with hollow eyes and a painted red smile, the infamous Billy, Jigsaw's puppet. The puppet's mouth moved mechanically as a deep, distorted voice emanated from a speaker somewhere in the room.
Hello, Regan. I want to play a game. You have spent your life tormented by forces beyond your control, forces that have taken over your body and mind. Today, you have a chance to reclaim your life. Before you are several devices designed to test your will to live. Each device is connected to a trigger mechanism. It will release you from your restraints, but only if you can solve the puzzles that present. Fail, and you will face unimaginable pain.
Regan's head lolled forward, her breathing ragged. But as Jigsaw continued to speak, her posture changed. She sat up straighter, her eyes rolling back into her head before snapping open, glowing with an unnatural, yellow light. Her lips curled into a sinister smile, and a guttural, mocking laugh filled the room.
Foolish mortal, do you really think your death traps can hold me? I am you, the Prince of Darkness. You dare challenge a demon.
Jigsaw paused, taken aback. This was not the response he had expected. His traps were designed to break the spirit, to test the limits of human endurance. He had never encountered anything like this before.
You may be a demon, soon, but even you must play by the rules of my game.
Pazuzu laughed again, the sound echoing eerily off the concrete walls.
You use me, human. Very well. I shall play your game. But know this, you have sealed your fate.
The first trap activated with a loud click. The chains and hooks hanging from the ceiling began to lower, their sharp points gleaming menacingly. Regan's eyes, now under Pazuzu's control, darted around the room, assessing the situation with an unsettling calm.
You see, Demon, this room is designed to test your patience and intellect. The chains are connected to a mechanism that will release your restraints, but only if you can solve the puzzle embedded in the wall behind you. Fail to do so, and the chains will rend your flesh from your bones.
Pazuzu smirked.
A child's plaything. I will have fun, wreaking.
Using Reagan's body, the demon twisted and contorted, managing to turn the chair just enough to face the wall with the puzzle. It was a complex array of gears and symbols, each piece interlocking in a seemingly random pattern. But Pazuzu's demonic intelligence quickly discerned the logic behind the design. As the chains descended closer, Pazuzu's hands moved with inhuman speed, manipulating the gears with precision. The puzzle began to shift and click into place. Jigsaw watched from his hidden location, fascinated and disturbed by the ease with which the demon solved the trap. With a final, decisive click, the puzzle locked into place, and the chains halted mere inches from Reagan's flesh. The restraints on her wrists and ankles released, and she stood, stretching her limbs with a satisfied grin.
Your traps are but trifles to me, human. You have no deal the power you are dealing with.
Jigsaw's voice, however, remained calm.
The game is far from over, Demon. Each room you pass through will test you further, pushing you to your limits. You may think you are invincible, but everyone has a breaking point, even demons.
Pazuzu's eyes narrowed, the yellow glow intensifying.
We shall see. Mortal, we shall see.
The door to the next room creaked open, revealing yet another series of deadly challenges. Reagan, under Pazuzu's control, stepped forward with confidence, ready to face whatever horrors Jigsaw had in store. The battle of wits and souls had only just begun. As Reagan, under Pazuzu's control, stepped into the next room, the door slammed shut behind her with a resounding thud. The air was thick with the acrid smell of chemicals, making it almost painful to breathe. The room was dimly lit, with only a few flickering fluorescent lights casting eerie shadows on the walls. In the center of the room, suspended from the ceiling, was a large, ominous tank filled with a bubbling, greenish-yellow liquid. A series of metal pipes and gears connected the tank to a large contraption on the wall, with a digital timer counting down ominously from 10 minutes. Below the tank, a smaller, shallow container filled with the same corrosive acid lay on the ground, the liquid within it gently simmering. Jigsaw's voice crackled through the speaker, echoing in the claustrophobic space.
Welcome to your next challenge, Demon. Above you is a tank of acid that will tip and pour its contents over you when the timer reaches 0. To stop the timer, you must insert the key into the timing mechanism on the wall, but the key is at the bottom of the smaller container of acid on the floor. Will you risk your hand to save yourself?
Pazuzu, controlling Reagan, surveyed the room with a smirk. The demon's eyes glowed with a fierce yellow light as it took in the contraption. Without a moment's hesitation, Pazuzu moved toward the shallow container of acid. The key, a small, seemingly fragile piece of plastic, was clearly visible at the bottom of the bubbling liquid. Pazuzu's laughter filled the room, a sound that sent chills down the spine.
You think this will stop me? Mortal, your traps are nothing but us.
With deliberate slowness, Pazuzu plunged Reagan's hand into the acid, the liquid hissing and bubbling as it came into contact with her flesh. The smell of burning flesh filled the room, and smoke rose from Reagan's hand. But instead of a scream of pain, there was only more laughter. Pazuzu held Reagan's hand in the acid for a moment, staring directly into the camera with a malevolent grin.
You see, human, this pain is nothing to me. Your feeble attempts to harm me. Pathetic.
After a few more agonizing moments, Pazuzu's hand emerged from the acid, clutching the key. The flesh on Reagan's hand was horribly burned and mangled, but the demon showed no sign of pain or discomfort. It was as if the injury was merely an inconvenience, something beneath its notice. Pazuzu approached the timing mechanism on the wall, inserting the key with a flourish. The timer halted at 30 seconds, the countdown freezing. The large tank above them remained ominously suspended, its deadly contents still intact.
Well done, Demon. You have passed this test, but know this: each room you enter will test you further, pushing you to your limits. You may think you are invincible, but even demons have their weaknesses.
Pazuzu's laughter echoed through the room once more.
You still don't understand, do you? I am beyond your comprehension, mortal, but I will play your game, if only to prove how futile your efforts are.
The door to the next room creaked open, revealing yet another series of deadly challenges. Reagan, with Pazuzu's malevolent presence guiding her, stepped forward with unwavering confidence, ready to face whatever horrors Jigsaw had in store. The battle of wits and souls continued, with the stakes growing ever higher. As the door closed behind them, Jigsaw watched through his monitors, a mixture of fascination and apprehension in his eyes. He had never faced an opponent like this before. The true test was yet to come, and only time would tell who would emerge victorious in this deadly game. As Reagan, still under the control of Pazuzu, stepped into the third room, the door slammed shut behind her with a heavy, echoing clang. This room was darker than the previous ones, with only faint, flickering lights embedded in the walls casting long, eerie shadows. The air was colder, and the atmosphere felt thicker, more oppressive, as if the room itself was alive and watching. The centerpiece of the room was a large, rotating platform in the middle, surrounded by a deep pit filled with dark, murky water. The platform was divided into sections, each adorned with various dangerous obstacles, spinning blades, electrified grids, and heavy, swinging pendulums. The only way to cross the room was to navigate this treacherous platform, but it was constantly in motion, making it a perilous endeavor. Jigsaw's voice resonated from hidden speakers, the familiar mechanical tone carrying a note of grim satisfaction.
Welcome to your next challenge, Demon. The only way to proceed is to cross the rotating platform. Each section presents a unique hazard, designed to test your agility, endurance, and wit. The pit surrounding the platform is filled with water, infused with a paralyzing toxin. Fall in, and you will be rendered immobile, left to drown. You have 15 minutes to reach the other side. Fail, and the room will flood, ensuring your demise.
Pazuzu's eyes glowed with a fierce determination as it assessed the room. The demon controlled Reagan's body with an unnatural grace, a cruel smile playing on her lips.
Is that all you have, mortal? Let the games continue.
The platform began to rotate faster, the blades spinning with a menacing hum. Pazuzu moved with fluid precision, timing each step perfectly. As the first obstacle approached, a series of spinning blades, Reagan's body contorted and twisted, dodging each blade with inhuman agility. The blades whirred past, missing her by mere inches, but Pazuzu moved through them effortlessly, almost playfully. Next came the electrified grid. Sparks crackled and hissed, the air thick with the smell of ozone. Pazuzu paused for a moment, calculating the timing of the electric pulses. With a swift, graceful leap, Reagan's body soared over the grid, landing lightly on the other side just as the electricity surged through the metal, narrowly avoiding the deadly current. The final obstacle was a series of heavy, swinging pendulums, each one adorned with sharp spikes. The pendulums moved in a seemingly random pattern, making it difficult to predict their swings. Pazuzu watched them intently, Reagan's eyes glowing brighter with anticipation. Timing her movements with demonic precision, she ducked, dodged and weaved through the pendulums, her body moving like a shadow in the flickering light. As she reached the other side, the platform slowed to a halt, and the door to the next room creaked open. Pazuzu turned to face the hidden cameras, Reagan's face twisted into an expression of triumphant malice.
Your traps are becoming tedious, human. Surely you can do better.
Jigsaw's voice, now carrying a hint of frustration, responded through the speakers.
You may have passed this test, Demon, but do not underestimate me. The next room will be your greatest challenge yet. Prepare yourself.
Pazuzu's laughter echoed through the room as Reagan stepped through the open door, the sound reverberating off the walls. The battle of wits and souls was far from over, and both adversaries knew that the true test was yet to come. As the door closed behind her, Jigsaw watched intently, his mind racing with the possibilities of the next challenge. This demon was unlike any he had faced before, but he was determined to find its breaking point. The game continued, each room bringing them closer to the ultimate confrontation. As Reagan, under Pazuzu's control, stepped into the fourth room, the door closed behind her with an ominous finality. The room was vast, almost cavernous, with walls lined with jagged spikes and floors covered in uneven, cracked tiles. A series of swinging axes and retractable spikes littered the path ahead, making it a gauntlet of deadly traps. Pazuzu surveyed the room with a bored expression, Reagan's eyes glowing with an eerie yellow light. The demon's voice echoed through the chamber, taunting and mocking.
Is this the best you can do? Mortal, these games are becoming tiresome. I grow bored of your dirty tricks.
Jigsaw's voice crackled through the speaker, sounding slightly exasperated.
You may think you are invincible, demon, but every trap is designed to test your limits. Proceed with caution, or face the consequences.
Pazuzu's laugh was a chilling sound that reverberated through the room.
Enough of your games, human. Now, it's time to play mine.
Suddenly, the camera feed from the room went static, plunging Jigsaw into blindness. His monitors, which had provided him with a clear view of every corner of his traps, now displayed only chaotic, snowy interference. The control he had so meticulously maintained over his environment was abruptly severed. Panic began to set in. Jigsaw frantically typed commands into his computer, trying to restore the feed, but it was futile. The demon had taken control. He had to escape, but he was deep within the labyrinthine confines of his own creation. The path to freedom was fraught with peril, and the demon's influence seemed to permeate every shadow. As he moved through the dimly lit corridors of the building, the air grew colder and more oppressive. Each step he took echoed unnervingly, the sound bouncing off the concrete walls. He could hear faint, disembodied whispers, their words indistinct but filled with malevolent intent. Shadows danced at the edges of his vision, flickering and shifting in a way that made his skin crawl. Jigsaw, usually calm and collected, felt an unfamiliar sensation of fear creeping over him. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat a reminder of his mortality. He moved quickly, his eyes darting around, trying to catch any sign of movement. The building seemed to be alive with the presence of the demon, every corner hiding a potential threat. As he passed through a narrow hallway, he heard a loud clang behind him. He whipped around, only to see a large, heavy door swinging shut. There was no one there, but the feeling of being watched was palpable. He could sense Pazuzu's presence, its malevolent eyes tracking his every move. He continued, his footsteps quickening. The labyrinthine corridors seemed to stretch on endlessly, each turn bringing him deeper into the heart of darkness. He passed through rooms filled with his own deadly traps, now a maze of terror he had to navigate to survive. The irony was not lost on him, the master of traps was now ensnared in his own creation. As he reached a dimly lit junction, he saw a shadow flit across the wall to his left. He turned sharply, his breathing ragged. Nothing. Just the empty hallway stretching out before him. But the sense of being hunted was growing stronger, an oppressive weight that made it hard to think clearly. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, filling his mind with their haunting chorus. He could almost make out words now, sinister and taunting, but they remained just beyond comprehension. Jigsaw pressed on, his mind racing. He needed to get out, to escape this nightmare. The building, which had once been a fortress of his control, was now a twisted maze of horror. Every step felt like it could be his last, every shadow a potential threat. He paused to catch his breath. The air was thick with tension, each moment stretching out agonizingly. He could hear his own heartbeat, loud and frantic, echoing in the silence. He knew he couldn't stop, couldn't rest. The demon was out there, lurking, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As he gathered his resolve and continued his desperate flight, the shadows seemed to close in around him, and the whispers grew ever louder. The true terror of Pazuzu's game was only just beginning. Jigsaw moved through the darkened corridors, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. The whispers had grown louder, almost deafening, and the shadows seemed to twist and writhe as if they were alive. He rounded a corner, hoping to find a clear path to safety. He froze in terror. Standing before him were two of his past victims, their forms grotesque and horrifying. The first was a woman, her body twisted and mangled from a cruel contraption that had crushed her limbs. Her skin was pale and blotchy, marred with deep bruises and dark patches of necrotic flesh. Her eyes were wide and vacant, and her mouth hung open in a silent scream, the lips cracked and bleeding. Her arms dangled unnaturally by her sides, the bones visibly shattered beneath the skin. The second figure was a man, his body covered in deep, jagged cuts. His face was a mask of agony, his eyes sunken and hollow. His throat had been slashed, leaving a gaping, bloodless wound that exposed the sinews and muscle beneath. He wore tattered remnants of a straitjacket, now stained and torn, his limbs contorted as if he had been desperately trying to escape his bonds even in death. Jigsaw's breath caught in his throat. These were the remnants of his brutal games, the consequences of his twisted sense of justice. He turned to run the other way, panic rising in his chest. But as he turned, his blood ran cold. 2 more victims stood there, their lifeless eyes fixed on him. The first was a young man, his body charred and blackened from head to toe. He had been a victim of one of Jigsaw's fire-based traps, his flesh burned and cracked, emitting a faint smell of smoke and ash. His hair was completely singed off, and his eyes were nothing but empty sockets, blackened by the flames. His mouth was frozen in a ghastly grimace, teeth exposed in a macabre parody of a smile. The second was an older woman, her body riddled with puncture wounds from hundreds of needles. Her veins were visible, dark and swollen beneath her translucent skin. Her face was a portrait of suffering, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and pain. Her clothes were tattered and stained with dried blood, and her hands trembled as they reached out towards him, fingers claw-like and skeletal. Jigsaw felt his strength drain away. The dead were closing in from both sides, their movements jerky and unnatural, like marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, filling his mind with their tormenting chorus. He stumbled backwards, his legs giving out beneath him. He fell to the cold, hard floor, his body trembling with exhaustion and terror. The dead continued their advance, their hollow eyes locked onto him, their mouths opening and closing in silent, haunting mockery. Jigsaw tried to crawl away, his hands scraping against the rough concrete, but his limbs felt heavy and unresponsive. The shadows seemed to close in around him, the oppressive weight of Pazuzu's presence bearing down on him. The victims drew nearer, their twisted forms looming over him. He could see every detail of their mutilated bodies, every wound and scar a testament to his own cruelty. The room seemed to close in on him, the walls narrowing, the air growing colder and thicker. As the dead reached out to him, their fingers brushing against his skin, Jigsaw let out a choked cry of despair. He was trapped, surrounded by the horrors he had created, the weight of his sins crashing down upon him. The whispers reached a fever pitch, drowning out his thoughts, filling his mind with their relentless, haunting refrain. Jigsaw's heart pounded, he couldn't breathe. The last thing he saw before the darkness closed in was the malevolent grin of one of his victims, their eyes gleaming with a sinister, otherworldly light. Pazuzu's game was over, and Jigsaw learned the true meaning of fear. His heartbeat fading before halting. But why did the AI choose Pazuzu as the winner? In analyzing the majority of encounters between Pazuzu and Jigsaw, the AI has determined that Pazuzu's victory is due to several key factors. Here, we will explore these elements in detail to understand why Pazuzu consistently overpowers Jigsaw's efforts. Pazuzu, a powerful demon from ancient lore, possesses supernatural abilities that far exceed human capabilities. This includes telekinesis, possession, and manipulation of reality. These abilities allow Pazuzu to easily bypass or dismantle Jigsaw's traps, which are designed to challenge and test human limits. The demon's power to influence the environment and alter perceptions gives Pazuzu an overwhelming advantage in any confrontation. While Jigsaw's traps rely on physical and psychological pain to break his victims, Pazuzu is immune to such tactics. The demon's control over Reagan McNeil's body showcases this, as it endures and even mocks the pain inflicted by the traps. This renders Jigsaw's primary method of control and punishment ineffective. Pazuzu thrives on fear, using it as a weapon to manipulate and torment. Jigsaw, known for his psychological manipulation, finds himself outmatched by Pazuzu's ability to instill deep, primal fear. The demon's presence alone is enough to unsettle and terrify, which undermines Jigsaw's control over the situation. Pazuzu's ability to turn Jigsaw's tactics against him is a crucial factor. By taking control of the environment and manipulating Jigsaw's own fears, Pazuzu forces the trap master into a position of vulnerability. The psychological advantage shifts dramatically in Pazuzu's favor, as seen when the demon mocks and disables Jigsaw's surveillance systems, plunging him into blindness and panic. Jigsaw's traps are meticulously designed to test specific weaknesses and challenge physical and mental endurance. However, Pazuzu's adaptability allows it to quickly understand and overcome these challenges. The demon's otherworldly intelligence and experience with human psychology make it adept at navigating and neutralizing even the most complex traps. Pazuzu's resilience in the face of physical harm and psychological stress further cements its superiority. Unlike Jigsaw's human victims, who are susceptible to pain, fear, and fatigue, Pazuzu remains unyielding and relentless. This resilience ensures that Pazuzu can outlast any trap or strategy Jigsaw employs. The AI's analysis concludes that Pazuzu's supernatural abilities, mastery of fear, psychological dominance, and unmatched resilience make it the clear victor in encounters with Jigsaw. While Jigsaw's ingenuity and strategic mind have proven formidable against human adversaries, they fall short against the demonic power and cunning of Pazuzu. The demon's ability to transcend physical limitations and exploit psychological weaknesses ensures its triumph in the majority of encounters. This analysis highlights the stark contrast between human ingenuity and supernatural power, illustrating why Pazuzu consistently prevails over Jigsaw's elaborate and deadly games. We hope you enjoyed this thrilling episode of Scripted by Machines. The battle between Jigsaw and Pazuzu showcased the ultimate clash of human ingenuity against supernatural power, and we hope it kept you on the edge of your seat. We want to extend a huge thank you to all our viewers for tuning in and supporting our channel. Your enthusiasm and engagement are what make these battles so exciting to create and share. Now, it's your turn. We want to hear from you. What battles would you like to see next? Comment below with your ideas and suggestions. Your input might just inspire the next epic showdown on Scripted by Machines. Once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep imagining and keep awake.
In a room so dark and eerie, Regan wakes up feeling weary, bound by straps and chains so tight, the flickering bulb her only light. Rusty blades and hooks are swinging, fearful whispers softly singing. In the center sits her chair, Jigsaw's game begins with flair. Oh, it's a game of wits and danger with the demon in the manger. Jigsaw's traps and tricks won't win when the demon's play begins. Hello, Regan. Hello, Regan. Jigsaw's calling. Play my game or start your calling. Solve my puzzles, test your will, or face the pain, the endless thrill. But her eyes begin to glow, a demonic force to show. Pazuzu, Prince of Dark, your traps are just alarm. First the chains come down to scare, but the demon doesn't care. Solving puzzles with great speed, from these traps she will be free. Acid waits in a room so grim, keys submerged for her to swim. Hand in acid, pain's a jest, demon's laughter, it's the best. Next the platform spins with peril, blades and spikes, a deadly carol. But the demon dances through, Jigsaw's trick she will outdo. Each new challenge, each new room, Jigsaw meets his darkest doom. For the demon's power grows, for each game her victory shows. Oh, it's a game of wits, a game of wits and danger. With the demon in the manger, Jigsaw's traps are all in vain. Against the demon can't sustain. Now the shadows twist and whisper, Jigsaw's breath comes short and crisper. Victims pass, they haunt his way, in this nightmare he will stay. Jigsaw's heart begins to race, through his maze he sets his pace. Every corner, every turn, demon's presence makes him burn. Whispers echo, shadows leer, Jigsaw feels the creeping fear. In his own game trapped and lost, Pazuzu's power the final cost. Oh, it's a game of wits and danger with the demon in the manger. Jigsaw's traps and tricks won't win when the demon's play begins. Panic sets as he tries to flee from the horrors he can't see. Jigsaw's mind is full of dread, haunted by the living dead. Figures twisted, burned and scarred, Jigsaw's escape forever barred. As the dead reach out to him, Pazuzu's laughter growing grim. On the floor, Jigsaw now falls, haunted by his own dark calls. Victims' eyes, they pierce his soul. Pazuzu achieves his goal. Trapped by sins and cruel designs, Jigsaw's fate in demon's lines. Darkness claims and whispers fade. In the end, the game is played. Oh, it's a game of wits and danger with a demon in the manger. Jigsaw's traps and tricks won't win when the demon's play begins. In the darkness shadows creep, Jigsaw's heart begins to leap. For the demons won the day, Jigsaw's fear is here to stay. Oh, it's a game of wits and danger with the demon in the manger. Jigsaw's traps and tricks won't win when the demon's play begins. In the darkness, shadows creep, Jigsaw's heart begins to leap. For the demons won the day, Jigsaw's fear is here to stay. Oh, it's a game of wits and danger with the demon in the manger. Jigsaw's traps and tricks won't win when the demon's play begins. With a sinister laugh and glee, Pazuzu claims victory. Jigsaw's game comes to an end. In the darkness, no more friend.
Yo, it's Pazuzu, the Demon King. Jigsaw, you ain't ready for the pain I bring. In this twisted game, you're out of your league. I'll make you wish you never mess with me. You think your traps are clever, all those blades and chains, but I'm the Prince of Darkness, bringing infernal flames. I possess wreaking, got control of a soul. Your little puzzles ain't nothing but a joke. You say hello Reagan with your puppets grin, but it's Pazuzu speaking, let the battle begin. You wanna test my will, you wanna see me break. Watch me laugh as I burn, your traps are fake. Chains and hooks coming down, trying to scare, but I twist and I turn like I don't even care. Solving puzzles in seconds, ain't no thing. I'm a demon with power, let the terror sing. You think you got me with acid and blades, but I'm the nightmare that never fades. I plunge my hand in, watch the flesh sizzle. Your petty traps, man, they just fizzle. I dance through your platform, dodging every swing. Your electrified grid, I don't feel a thing. You set up the challenge, but I'm here to stay. In this twisted game, I'm leading the play. I'm the shadow in the hallway, the whisper in the dark. Your victims rise up, they're just a spark of the terror I bring, of the fear I instill. Jigsaw facing, you can't break my will. You're lost in your maze, trying to flee, but there's no escape when you're dealing with me. The master of traps, now trapped in his own, while Pazuzu reigns from his infernal throne. Jigsaw, your heartbeat slows, feel the fear. I'm the demon that your mind holds dear. In this game of wits, I'm the one who won. Pazuzu's power, you can't outrun. So here's my final laugh, echoing through. In this rap battle, you know who rules who. Pazuzu, I reign supreme in this dark, twisted horror scene.
Well, Pazuzu, won't you let me go? I'm begging on my knees, don't make it so. I'm lost and scared, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. I'm trapped in my own design car. Pazuzu's got me losing my mind. Thought I could control the game, but now I'm calling out your name. Chains and shadows closing in, haunted by the pain I bear. Pazuzu, please hear my plea. Won't you set my torture so free? Oh, Pazuzu, won't you let me go? I'm begging on my knees, don't make it so. I'm lost and scared, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Your power's more than I can take. My heart's about to break. I thought I had it all planned out, but now I'm drowning in this doubt. Victim faces, they haunt my dreams. Twisted echoes, their silent screams. Pazuzu, I can't escape from this nightmare you shaped. Oh, Pazuzu, won't you let me go? I'm begging on my knees, don't make it so. I'm lost and scared, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Have mercy
grow stronger. I'm just a man, frail and weak. Your forgiveness is all I seek. Please, Pazuzu, hear my cry. I don't wanna say goodbye to the light, to my life. Free me from this endless strife. I thought I was the master here, but you've turned my world to fear. I'm lost within this maze I made. Pazuzu, don't let me fade. Take my hand, lead me through. I can't survive without you. I'm broken, helpless, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Oh, Pazuzu, won't you let me go? I'm begging on my knees, don't make it so. I'm lost and scared, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. In the darkness, I see your face. Feel your power, your cold embrace. But I'm begging, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Pazuzu, won't you let me go? I'm begging on my knees, don't make it so. I'm lost and scared, can't you see? Pazuzu, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me, oh please. Pazuzu, set me free.